Hey everybody, Josh Sigurdson, World Alternative Media here, and we are joined by Rodrigo Ambrissi, of course, Dash Digital Cash. There is so much to go into today because, this world is changing at a hyper pace when it comes to the use for cryptocurrencies like Dash in countries that are dramatically getting affected by monetary crises and government policy, centralization, etc. Before we go into any of that, can you introduce yourself to the audience and what you do?
Yeah, so hi everybody, my name is Rod Ambrissi. I do host a YouTube channel related to Dash Digital Cash, but in Portuguese. I'm from Brazil, so my channel mainly is in Portuguese, and I create content, and I'm also sponsored by the Dash community, which means I did present a proposal to the masternodes saying, hey, if you guys agree to pay me this much of money for a certain time, I can create content for you guys in Portuguese. So it goes for a voting system. The masternodes did approve my proposal, and for the past year and a half, I've been actually getting paid by a bunch of computers to create content for a specific market for Dash Digital Cash.
And you've experienced this hyperinflation firsthand in Venezuela. We could go into Argentina, which is facing its, 10th hyperinflation in the last century. There's a lot happening in Latin America right now. And Venezuela, of course, printed the Bolivar into complete oblivion. It's absolutely horrible. People have been forced into the streets, forced into zoos, stealing animals, eating their pets. It's horrible. But there is a bright side to all of it, because for once in history, we have seen something like Dash being used to help people, people who are desperate. They're using Dash instead of the Bolivar to trade and to be able to barter and to be able to, get into the free market outside of the governmental system. Can you go into your experience in Venezuela and how Dash has helped the people there?
Well, being from Brazil, I went through exactly the same thing when I was a kid growing up. Brazil had 6 types of currency in 15 years, over 1.2 trillion% inflation. Monetary and currency manipulation. Every couple months, the government will cut a few zeros, replace the bills, print new bills with new heroes, and give to the population, creating this illusion of value on that piece of paper. And I do have a very strong speech about this, what happened in Brazil, in a lecture. So the Dash community in Venezuela ended up contacting me, someone that I knew already for a while, Eugenia Alcalá, say, hey, do you want to come to Venezuela, host a lecture in Spanish about how Brazil went through this, which is exactly the same thing Venezuela is going through right now. So while I was preparing my lecture to go there, as a YouTuber, my main goal is to create content. I decided to say, hey, I'm going to create some sort of a video log telling my viewers the experience to leave home and go to Venezuela to actually host a lecture. So on the second day there, which I already had footage from me buying the ticket with Dash, flying and getting there, getting a taxi and paying with Dash, the community already pre-arranged that for me. I had a lot of footage, and I realized there was something bigger happening, because I ended up paying breakfast, lunch, and dinner every single day for 7 days in different locations: hotel, gas, airfare. Plus, I went to other businesses that accept Dash, plus 2 conferences, including the Chamber of Industry and Commerce of Maracay, which once I got back home, I'm like, I have about 50 hours of video. I have to put together something more powerful. So I ended up putting together a documentary called Venezuela and the Cryptocurrency Revolution, where it shows my journey leaving my home, going there, explaining how Venezuela got into this situation. It's 30 minutes long, how the government was unable to sustain an economic model based 100% of income from oil, which Venezuela is one of the richest countries on the planet. On the other hand, they're starving. They have the largest oil reserve on the planet. So I on the documentary, I explain how they got into this situation, how the current president was unable to have a transparency among each branch of the government. It's not a socialist country. It's just a disorganized country run by a bunch of people that have no idea what they're doing. They have no control of absolutely nothing. They have no control of printing money. And I clearly shown the documentary this experience. And the documentary has been out there. It's on YouTube. It's for free. Anybody can download and do whatever you want with it. It's called Venezuela and the Cryptocurrency Revolution.
How's the government responding to the use of Dash by people on the streets and businesses?
Oh, the government loves Dash. Apparently, they just took the Dash white paper and they cop about 80 to 90% of it, and they call it El Petro, which is not there for sale. When I was there, which I show as well in the documentary, you see billboards about El Petro, you see commercials on television, the president talk on TV, but it doesn't exist. You cannot mine, you cannot buy, you cannot sell, there's no wallet that holds it. Just recently they released a white paper which is basically copy from Dash, most of it. And Dash today became a stronger cryptocurrency and more well-known in Venezuela because they have a very strong community behind, which was sponsored by Dash the same way as I did, presented a proposal basically using the funds from the super block, the 10% from the treasury that anybody in the world can actually ask for funds in order to promote the cryptocurrency in the region.
So why Dash? Why Dash over all these other? There's what, 2,500 cryptocurrencies in the world? I know most are terrible, but I mean, nonetheless, there are a lot of them. Why Dash over anything else?
For me, well, I was a big fan of the Daily Decrypt with Amanda B. Johnson, and then she ended up switching to Dash Detail, and that's how I got to know Dash. I think for me, the fact that you get reward for running a node, that's interesting combination. Not like Bitcoin, you do not get reward if you are running a node, right? So also the most important is the treasury system allowing Dash to be a self-sustained cryptocurrency, which is the totally opposite of an ICO. While ICOs are desperate looking for money, trying to get investors, Dash has funds to sponsor projects around the world. But again, it has to be something related in order that's going to increase the value of the brand, the cryptocurrency, and the network. And anybody in the world can apply for this. And the community is one of the strongest ones that I've been part of and that I know, because we've been helping each other a lot, especially in Latin America, Dash Brazil, Dash Colombia, Dash Venezuela. We're starting committed now, Dash Argentina. And those are the countries that need crypto the most in the beginning. But also there's a huge movement in Dash Africa, Dash Hub Africa as well. Communities not related to anybody that they just find out about Dash, they presented proposals. Most of the time they started asking for funds to organize meetup, to literally pay for the pizza and for the drinks and get people to that's how we all started. Get people to talk about crypto, and then someone has an idea to, hey, maybe we can get business accepting Dash. The other person, hey, but I can develop this type of whatever that can do with Dash, and someone else has another idea, and then we're constructing. So today, the only way I see to see the value of a cryptocurrency is the community behind, and Dash has a very strong community making it happen on different continents.
And I know we're in a bear market and everything right now, and a lot of people are down on crypto. I personally am more bullish than ever because of this crazy bear market. I mean, crazy opportunities come with it. But I wanted to ask, what will bring Dash to the next level in the next bull market? What will ensure that Dash will still have a place in the top 20, top 10 even top 5?
Yeah, well, Dash has a core team, which is also, they're also proposal owners, always very, very well supported by the community, but they've been closing partnerships among several exchange and several business and payment systems around the world. So we're laying the foundation. That's once Dash Evolution, which is the next step of the Dash wallet, is going to be out, making it very simple, more like a PayPal system where people will be able to send and receive transactions using someone's name with a picture, facilitating instead of those long algorithms for wallets. Plus, the Dash core team is doing a fantastic job with partnership. Plus the treasury, the more they increase the value of Dash, more money will be available on the fund, on the treasury, for more people to present proposals. And this business model, where Dash is even proof of work, you have to actually work on proof of work to mine Dash, but you have to have stakeholders, which are the master nodes. You have to have 1,000 Dash to be able to get the block reward, and their most important responsibilities to vote to see where they gotta reallocate the money or from the treasury fund. So they're the biggest their biggest interest in them to actually vote on proposals that will bring more value to the network. So all those things combined has the perfect combination to bring Dash to the next level. Dash is being among the 10 cryptocurrencies for a couple of years now, dropped to number 13, still among the 20 top cryptocurrencies. There's a lot of other projects out there that just magically appear on number 3, number 4, but then eventually they disappear. But Dash is still here. It's been functionally working since 2014. And we can't wait to see the next step, which is the decentralization, the DApp, with the evolution coming up in 2019 now.
Dash has been one of the most convenient cryptocurrencies for myself as well, traveling and doing work in many different places, and not a paid promotion. YouTube, the legal team can finally leave me alone. But it's really important because, I mean, these are the steps that we need to take towards that true crypto revolution, where we create alternatives to everything that we see today, central banks, governments, etc. As we kind of wrap it up, I do want to kind of just jump back to Venezuela for a second regarding the Petro Coin, because news came out a few days ago. Maduro is talking about how every oil transaction will soon be done in the Petro Coin. So basically it's based on oil, and all the transactions are done with something that is based on oil for oil. It's really confusing. Do you think that there's any possible way for the government to possibly achieve breaking out of this insane hyperinflation, and somehow it will make Petro Coin a major currency in the future?
I think it would be fantastic in theory if they can get their game together, have a cryptocurrency that is mined, so everybody has access to mine, no pre-mined tokens, so the government does not control large amounts. It will be very interesting to see the Venezuela government jumping over sanctions from the United States and being able to sell oil to any other country. Also fighting against directly with the petrodollar, not El Petro, but the petrodollar, the dollar that we must use to buy oil. Right? One of the typical examples that we had was in early 1999, 2000, Saddam Hussein was the guy in talks to start dealing oil with euros and putting the petrodollar aside, and we all know what happened to Saddam Hussein and Iraq. It was used as an example, say, hey, if you don't use our money, that's what happened to you.
We saw the same thing in Libya with Gaddafi as well.
Libya and Yemen, so there is a huge bellic service, weapon service, to force everybody to use the petrodollar, right? The fiat US dollar. So having a possibility from a country, but again, nobody trusts the Venezuelan government. Maybe having a cryptocurrency to deal oil, that it will be very, very revolutionary. But if they do this in a very transparent way, that the token can be checked, it's very tricky. So looking forward to see how this is going to develop. I wish I could see, though, a cryptocurrency for the oil business around the world that is not controlled by any government. That will be a major revolution.
Yeah, see, I can't imagine trusting, a government that just hyperinflated its currency to, do right with this. I think one of the main points of this is that mostly decentralized cryptocurrency and the competing currency market is revolutionary to the world in so many ways, and it's helping people. It's demonstrably so. We are seeing so many people around the world using it. People in Argentina are using it right now, escaping this tailspin for their currency, and of course Brazil it can really use it going forward.
Brazil, I recently did a survey on my channel. We found out we have 59 cryptocurrency exchanges, right? 14 of those accepting Dash, and the other most Bitcoin and Ether. But even though the volume of those exchanges are 20 Bitcoin, 10 Bitcoin, some of them 1 Bitcoin, but the foundation's there. The technology is there. Once people start realizing how much better and how faster and how much more control you have, the tools are there for the individual to use it.
Yeah, and the real isn't doing too well, and we know all fiat currencies eventually revert to zero, every single one throughout history. So these cryptocurrencies help a lot. So as we close it off, can you let everyone know, because I'm really excited about this documentary, seeing this documentary, where they can get the documentary and where they can find more of your work?
Yeah. So YouTube, everybody, just type Venezuela and the Cryptocurrency Revolution. The documentary will appear in English. I also have one version in Portuguese. And the first link on the documentary is the playlist of all my interviews in English. Most of my channel content is in Portuguese, but I do have a playlist in English where I interview the toppest cryptocurrency names in the world, starting from Roger Ver to Eric Voorhees and many others around. So double check on the channel. If you like to subscribe, please go for it. Remember, most of the videos are in Portuguese, but very often when I do events like you, I do interviews in English and then I put the subtitles. So hit me up there, leave a note, because interaction with other communities in other countries is extremely important, because I'm bringing the information directly from Brazil to Europe and to US to tell them this is what's happening for real.
And we do have a large Portuguese audience, so I'm sure many of you will check that out. I really appreciate the work you do. This is revolutionary. This is history being made, and I don't think a lot of people realize the incredible opportunities that come with it. So I appreciate it. Hope everyone checks out the channel. I'll put it in the links below on the screen. And big shout out to CryptoBlockCon here in Las Vegas. And thank you for joining us today.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Like what you see here, OM? Don't forget to check the links below. GoFundMe, Patreon. We can't do it without you. Any donation is very much appreciated, especially as we are so vastly demonetized and censored on YouTube, as these guys come in and flag all of our content as hate speech. Also, check out our Bitcoin address below, as well as on the screen for you to scan if you please. And also check us out at steemit.com. We're at Josh Sigurdson. It's a future of social media where you get paid in the upvote of your post in cryptocurrency. Steem, that is. So make sure to check us out there. Make sure to join us at Anarchapulco 2019 with people like Ron Paul, G. Edward Griffin, of course, Jeff Berwick, Vid Jedlicka. So many incredible speakers are going to be speaking. It's just a massively growing event. It is something you have to see to believe. So make sure to check it out below and save money on your tickets by using promo code WAM, that's WAM, and I hope to see you there. Also, check out our newsletter. As we are getting demonetized and censored and all that, we don't know what comes next, so we have an email, worldalternativemedia@gmail.com. Send us an email with subject line YES, YES, and we will include you in the newsletter, where we will continuously keep you updated. So until next time, thanks for watching, everyone. This is Josh Sigurdson signing out from World Alternative Media. Find the truth, be the change.
I'm sure you have already changed people's minds in your young age because you're involved, and I like that.